Hey folks, welcome to Cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline. Today we're going to make a delicious chocolate chip banana loaf. So let's sit back and enjoy the ride.
Well boys and girls, let's go make our chocolate chip banana loaf, and here's our ingredients.
You'll need all-purpose flour, baking soda, baking powder, sea salt, granulated sugar, brown sugar, unsalted butter, eggs, vanilla extract, lemon or lime juice, bananas, and semi-sweet chocolate chips.
Well folks, let's get right into it. Here I have 3 overripe bananas, which is ideal for making our chocolate chip banana loaf. And for the star of the show, here I have 3/4 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. You're also going to need a regular size loaf pan, which is 9 by 5. You want to also give it a light spray with a bit of palm butter spray, or you can just use regular butter, but this makes it a lot easier to do. Now I'm just placing the parchment paper underneath the tin to get an average size of how to cut it. Here I'm just using a serrated knife to cut the parchment paper. You can use a scissors also. And now you just want to check and make sure that you have cut your paper correctly. And there may be a little trimming to be done, as you can see, and that is simple enough to do. After doing this, place the parchment paper into the pan and trim off any excess if needed. Now that this is done, let's set the pan aside and move on to the next step. So let's deal with our dry ingredients. Here I have 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. To this you want to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and also a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And for flavor, here I have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, which I'm adding to the mix. Next, you want to take your whisk and incorporate all those ingredients into the flour. After doing this, you want to take your bowl and set this aside and move on to the next step. Next, you're going to need some overripe bananas. Here I have 3. This will give you about 1 1/2 cups of the pulp. If you don't have super ripe bananas, you can place the regular ripe bananas into the oven and bake at 350 in a sheet pan for about 10 minutes. And they will get all nice and gooey on the inside. Now take your potato masher and mash your bananas until it becomes to a puree. I like leaving a bit of chunks in between so I don't go all the way to a smooth paste, but the option is up to you. And this is about the consistency that I'm looking for. Now that we have done this, grab yourself another bowl and let's move on to the next step. So we're going to start off with the following. Here I have a 1/2 cup of room temperature unsalted butter. Next, I'm going in with a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And remember guys, I will have all the ingredients written down in the show notes. Next, I'm going in with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar lightly packed. Next, I'm going to take my trusty hand mixer and I'm going to beat this until it becomes light and fluffy. It may take about 5 to 8 minutes. While doing this, you would want to stop intermittently and scrape down the sides of the bowl with a spatula to make sure you get everything properly well incorporated. Now that you have gotten your butter and sugar nice and creamy, it's time to add your eggs. You want to add those eggs separately. Here I have 2 large eggs. It is very important that you get those eggs properly well incorporated into the mixture. So we have added our last layer. We're going to beat this for about a minute. After doing that, it is now time to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And into the pool it goes. Next, we are going in with 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. You can also use lime juice if you have. Now we're going to continue mixing this until we get everything incorporated. And I'll bring you guys back when we're ready to add the next ingredient. And in the miracle of time, we are back. It's now time to add our banana puree to the mixture. At this time, you can start preheating your oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that the banana puree is in the pool, we're going to incorporate this into our cake batter. In the meanwhile,
Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the post notifications for more.
well, now it's time to add our dry ingredients, and we're going to add this gradually and fold it in using a silicone spatula. While I'm doing this, I'm going to leave a link in the iCards and in the show notes below on how to make a lemon blueberry loaf. So folks, our flour is folded in nicely. Now it's time to add the star of the show. I'm going to add half a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now all you have to do is take your time and gently fold this into the mixer and get those chocolate chips properly well distributed. And folks, so you know, I will have the full recipe written down in the show notes below. So folks, now it's time to add our batter to the loaf pan which we have prepared earlier on with the parchment paper. Now that you have gotten the batter into the loaf pan, you just want to take your spatula and even out things a bit. And for a bit of decoration, you want to take some of your chocolate chips and sprinkle them lightly on top of the loaf. After all, there's nothing wrong with a little extra chocolate chips. It just makes for better eating. And in the magic of editing, here's a bit of a close-up before we go into the oven. Isn't that a pretty sight? Well folks, let's get our chocolate chip banana loaf into our 350-degree oven. Baking time should be about 50 minutes to 1 hour. And in the miracle of time, here's our chocolate chip banana loaf. So folks, remember that different oven takes different time, so your time may vary. Take a toothpick and insert it in the center, and if it comes out clean, it means that you're good to go. And here's the reason for the parchment paper. It makes easy removal from the loaf pan. So boys and girls, we're going to get a couple slices off and fasten our seat belts and get ready for a drive-by. Let's go!
So boys and girls, here's our delicious chocolate chip banana loaf, and it was so tasty. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the post notifications for more videos. See you all on our next cooking journey, and we're out until next time.